I'm saying? It's a trick with words. And a lot of people they bypass what's going on. Like the term Israeli. Israeli means only the inhabitants of that land. An Israelite is a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You understand where I'm coming from?
Okay.
It's a bloodline. Give me that. Watch this.
Luke 21 and 24.
So Luke 21 and 20.
21 and 20.
20, yes.
Luke 21 and 20.
Uh-huh.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with army,
Read up,
and when ye shall see,
brothers in the car. So this is a prophecy that who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ was giving our people before he died. Go ahead.
then know that the desolation thereof is not.
So Yahweh Shai, or who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, said, when you see Jerusalem compassed by the Roman armies, circled by the Roman armies, this is historical fact. Go ahead. Then know that the destruction is near. Then know that your destruction is near. Go ahead.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
So anybody that's in Judea, flee to Egypt. That's Africa. That's fleeing amongst other dark-skinned people, because you got Romans coming in. You flee in the midst of other dark-skinned people, right? This is how we ended up on the west coast of interiors of Africa. How they came and got us on the west coast of Africa. We not Africans, and we not from Africa. We not from the west coast of Africa. This showing you what happened and how we got there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out.
So guess Christ saying leave. When you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, leave. Go ahead.
And let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto.
So we will be out trading and whatever else. When you was outside in the neighboring countries, he said don't even come back in when you see Rome circle your land, your homeland. Go ahead.
For these be the days of vengeance.
For these be what?
The days of vengeance.
So these be the days of breaking God's laws. God gave the Israelites his laws by Mount Sinai. He gave them punishments for breaking them laws, curses. So what Christ is saying, these be the days of vengeance for these laws you broke. Now here come the curses from the laws you broke that Moses told you about in Deuteronomy. These be the days of vengeance. Go ahead.
That all things which are written may be fulfilled.
All those things in Deuteronomy, them curses that Moses said that you was going to go through if you didn't keep the Most High laws, all of these things is going to be fulfilled when you see this start to happen now. Right? This is the beginning of the end of days. This is the beginning of the end times.
Yeah.
Read that.
All right, this is from Babylon and Timbuktu.
That was
by
the
Arthur
prophecy
Windsor.
that he gave. Years before that happened. That was a prophecy that was written way before anybody knew anything about this history or this happened. Go ahead.
Book of from Babylon and Timbuktu.
Babylon and Timbuktu. We had kingdoms inside Africa, right? We was enslaved under the Babylonians. Remember, Israel, Jerusalem was enslaved under the Babylonians. So then we got from Babylon, we moved into the west coast interiors of Africa, and we formed a kingdom called Timbuktu, right? So now it's telling you that the Jews from Babylon to Timbuktu, it's telling you that the Jews is those so-called people you think is African, was Africans in the west coast. Read that.
All right. On page 84 from Babylon and Timbuktu. So, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem.
So this is a more elaborate story than the prophecy, but it's going to fit that perfect. Go ahead.
In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
So General Vespasian and his son Titus, Roman generals, put an end to the Jewish state, our commonwealth, right? Go ahead.
With great slaughter.
With what?
With great slaughter.
Remember, Christ said, "These be the days of vengeance." Right? Go ahead.
During the period of the military governors of Palestine.
That's martial law. That's martial law. Now, Palestine is Jerusalem. Think about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people.
For these be the days of vengeance. Go ahead.
During the period from Pompeii to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa.
What did the Jews do?
Fled into Africa.
What did the Jews do?
Fled into Africa.
Go ahead.
Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery.
Fleeing from what?
Roman persecution and slavery.
Fleeing from what?
Roman persecution and slavery.
Go ahead.
The slaves were full of black Jewish slaves.
What was the slave markets on the west coast of Africa full with?
The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
So this is who you had on the boat, the real Jews, the real Israelites. Now give me Deuteronomy 28:68.
Okay, so they flew to the
Yeah,
western,
where's that? Where's it?
western part of Africa.
Yeah,
and
watch,
then,
watch. I got a map here. Where's it?
is this it?
Yeah. So now look. Okay. Where we at? Okay, you got Jerusalem here, right? So what happened? We ran out. And you remember when we left out of Egypt, we walked into Jerusalem.
Yeah.
So we ran out, ran back into the mountains, which is Egypt.
Yeah.
And then we spread over the north and the west coast parts, and it's around the south like that. Some of us was in the interior and the east part, but most of us here. We had all of the kingdoms, Kingdom of Judah here, the Gold Coast, Ghana, all of that was us.
Okay.
Right? So we fled out of Israel back into Africa.
So I would assume your point is that you're descendants of Israelites.
Exactly. We are descendants of the 12 tribes. So when they came to West Coast Africa to get us, these are the same people that knew. Because they knew their ancestors had ran us in. So they knew where to come and find us at.
Okay.
So that's why they still inhabiting Israel right now. Because the real Israelites are in captivity. You understand where I'm coming from?
The real Israelites now are in captivity?
Give me Deuteronomy 28:16.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28,
Israelites.
and verse 68.
64.
64.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord shall scatter thee amongst all people.
And the Most High is going to scatter us amongst all people. So when you go across the earth, you see a black man or so-called Hispanic man or Native American, what we call a Negroid or indigenous. We scattered amongst every nation, and we on the bottom. We the ones in the slums and the ghettos. It's a reason for that. That's not a coincidence. We're not just dumb, and it's a systematic thing for that. Go ahead.
From one end of the earth, even unto the other.
So the Lord said he's going to scatter us amongst all people. From one end of the earth, even unto the other. Go ahead.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which
God.
neither.
Islam. We call ourselves 5%ers. Black people call themselves the gods and earths. The 5%ers. We call ourselves everything. We try to find anything to label ourselves. We should serve other gods. Go ahead.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
And the wood represents the Christian cross, and the stone represents the cobblestone. The stupid cobblestone. The Kaaba, you know which the Arabs, the Arabs walk around and kiss the stone, the black rock.
Yeah.
That's a Kaaba. That's called the Kaaba.
Okay.
So it's a dumb stone. So it says we're gonna be scattered, we're gonna serve other gods, and we're gonna be bowing down to idols like the wood and stone. Cross is the wood, the stone is the Kaaba stone, the Arab stone. So we call ourselves, the main religions that we into is Islam and Christianity. That's just two symbols of that.
I'm not following you.
Black people.
Yeah, black people
The main religions that we focus on and into and feverish for is Christianity, Islam. Christianity, the cross is made out of wood.
Yeah.
The stone, cobblestone. That's those two main items.
Okay.
Right? Give me that. 68. Watch this real quick.
Book of Deuteronomy,
And
chapter
this is
20.
in the book, one of the curses that Moses said the Israelites were going to go through. That's the 20 and 2.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the
And
Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
And the Lord shall bring the Israelites into Egypt again. You know what they was doing the first time in Egypt? What was the Israelites doing? When they was in Egypt, the Israelites was in Egypt. Why did Moses have to deliver them? You know about that? They were enslaved. Remember the Israelites built up the pyramids. They built up all of the Sphinx and monuments and the treasure cities for Pharaoh.
Yeah.
They were enslaved, so Moses had to go deliver the 12 tribes out of slavery, right? The Lord shall bring what?
The Lord.
Just when we came out in the wilderness, we were receiving God's laws, and now Moses gave us our blessings, and he given us our curses for not following them. And the Lord shall do what?
Bring thee into Egypt again.
And he said, Egypt again. Go ahead, hold up.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2.
And this is the definition of Egypt. Same Bible. Go ahead.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the house of Egypt.
Out of what?
Out of the house of Egypt.
Now read it right, King.
Out of the land of Egypt.
Out of the land of Egypt. Go ahead.
Out of the house of bondage.
You know what bondage means? Slavery. So the Lord is equating Egypt to bondage. That's what Egypt means when you read it in. Egypt is a Greek word that actually means bondage. Because that land wasn't called Egypt. Egyptians didn't call themselves Egypt or Egyptians. Right. That was what the Greeks called it. That land was named Mizraim. Right? So go ahead back to that.
Bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So the Lord is going to bring the Israelites into slavery again. Again. This time with what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
Uh-huh.
By the way thereof I spake unto thee.
So Moses said, by how I'm telling you this is going to happen, it's going to happen exactly how I'm telling you. This was 3,000-4,000 years ago. So he said, the Lord, if you break his laws, he's going to bring you back into slavery with ships. So when we went into our homeland, Israel, right?
Yeah.
Egypt is right there. We can walk in and walk right back out.
Yeah.
So he said, this time I'm going to bring you into Egypt with ships. You can't even take a ship. All that is land mass. So you can't take a ship from Egypt to Israel. Egypt to Israel. It's walking distance. So he said, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt, which is slavery, or a new Egypt. With what?
With ships.
Uh-huh.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
And we haven't seen our homeland since we left it. By the way I spoke unto you, and I send you on them slave ships, you're going to not see your homeland again. Go ahead.
And there.
And where?
And there.
When you get off of them ships into that new Egypt, go ahead.
Ye shall be sold.
You shall do what?
Ye shall be sold.
What happened to the black man and the black woman when they got off the ships? You shall be what?
Ye shall be sold
Uh-huh.
unto your enemies.
Who was they sold to?
Unto your enemies.
You know who they were sold to?
Well, plantations, white men.
Huh?
Plantations, owners, white men.
Right. What did he call them?
Your enemies.
What did he call them?
Sorry?
What did he call those plantation white owners?
Your
what?
enemies.
You shall be sold to who?
Ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Go ahead.
For bondmen
For slave men.
and bondwomen.
Slave women. Go ahead.
And no man shall buy you.
No man is going to save you. Now that prophecy only fits one particular people on the earth. Now when you look at the Jewish man never went into slavery or shit. And no man shall buy you means redeem you or save you out of that captivity. So the Jewish man is the richest man on earth. He owns everything, the diamonds, the hospital, banks. Right?
Yes and no. Well, there's a lot of Jewish rich men, but like if you look at the Forbes list of the richest people, like Jeff Bezos, I don't think
Jeff who?
Jeff Bezos, like the owner of Amazon.
Yeah, he's
the
Jewish.
richest.
He's Jewish. All of them Jewish.
Well, Bill Gates.
Jewish. Really? All of them Jewish. Steve Wozniak, Steve Jobs, all of them Jewish. Everybody at the top, they Jewish. Every single person at the top is Jewish.
Like
Even the
Donald,
people you might not think, and they're
Donald Trump,
Jewish.
Barack Obama.
He's an African. He's not even our black. And see, that's a lot of people don't know that Barack Obama is not our people. We didn't care for Barack Obama.
Isn't his father from?
Yeah, his father's a Hamite.
Right.
We are Shemites. Remember, the Israelites are children of Shem.
Okay.
Give me. I'm gonna show you something. Give me that. me that. Ham. I'm gonna show you who the Africans are. Show you
The Africans right now? People living in Africa?
Well, you have our people scattered. We everywhere. So we still have people in Africa. You just have to know the tribes and who they are. Our people are different from African. Like if you see a regular African today, and you put him and an African American side by side, they're two different people. The way they operate, the way they look.
Yeah.
You know what
But
I mean?
even Africans are really, really different from one another. Like,
Well, they have different tribes.
like in Rwanda, remember like the genocide that happened?
Yeah.
Hutus and Tutsis are really different.
Yeah.
The way they look.
Yeah.
And like Pygmies are really,
That's
small
true.
Africans.
That's
and
true.
There's a lot of diversity.
Hotel Rwanda, you talking about? Hotel Rwanda? The movie Hotel Rwanda?
Well, no, I'm talking about
history.
There was a genocide.
No,
in
that's
Rwanda.
true. That's true. You have to just know the tribes that you did it. Give me that. Give me that. Show you something.
This is out of the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, the definition of ham.
And this is a Bible dictionary. This gives you definitions of things that's in that Bible. Okay? Go ahead.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah.
Ham is the youngest son of Noah. The earth was repopulated out of these three men and their wives. Go ahead.
Born probably 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark
He
races,
became the forefather of the dark races. Go ahead.
not the Negroes.
Not who?
Not the
So
Negroes.
he became the forefather of every dark, or not all dark races, but the dark races, not the Negro. Right? Go ahead.
But the Egyptians,
He's the father of the Egyptians, but those Africans. Egyptians are Africans. See, they're making the distinction from Africans and people. Go ahead.
the Ethiopians,
Ethiopians is Africans. Go ahead.
Libyans,
Libyans is Africans. Go ahead.
and Canaanites.
Canaanites is Africans. So that's North, East, South, and West Africa. What he's basically saying, the Negroes is different from these original inhabitants of Africa. Like, see the difference in that? That's an African. That's a Negro.
Okay.
Can you see the difference in that? I mean,
Yeah,
'cause
I
see,
can see that.
what people pay attention to is the skin color. Like East,
Well, but
East
this
Indians
one is
dark
Skinnier
skin.
and
East Indians dark skin. Arabs are dark skin. Australians are dark. Even us in the Aboriginal Australians, they are the same. Right. So when you look at like some of us in the Hispanics, we don't look the same, but we the same people. Okay. You understand where I'm coming from? You have some Africans, they look a little different in their features, but they come from the same forefather. Okay. Yeah. So we are Shemites, they Hamites. Okay. Right. And we operate them. They the ones. I'm gonna show you something. Give me Joel. The Africans and the Arabs is the ones who sold us over. Yeah. Right. So when the colonizers came to get us, they didn't come into Africa to get us. You understand what I'm saying? They paid the original Africans to come in. They paid the original Africans to come in to get us.
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't go into a foreign land like that, especially Africa, jungle like Africa, and you just coming in there a stranger, especially with pale skin. You coming in and you just walking through Africa. I mean, that's anywhere. Regardless of what skin you got, you walk through anywhere and you a stranger to that land, they gonna get you. So what they did is they hired the real Africans and the Arabs. Because we went through what you would call the sub-Saharan slave trade before the transatlantic. Right. Here we go. We was enslaved under the Arabs before the transatlantic slave trade. See that? You got Israelites right here. You got Arabs. You got Israelites in bondage. You got Arabs. You got Israelites. You got Arabs. See what I mean? You got Israelites. You got Africans. And this African, this Israelite got tired, and this African about to take an axe to this Israelite. So that's not his brother right there. See that? He about to take an axe to him because he got tired of walking. So the Africans and the Arabs gathered us up and sold us to the Caucasians. They the ones who brought us out and to the ships. Give me that. What you got?
Book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Right?
For behold, in those days, in
Go to
that
3.
time, Book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine,
So
that they may drink.
So the Africans and the Arabs, they put on some auction blocks. That's what cast lots mean. They have cast lots for my people and did what?
And given a boy for an harlot.
And they sold our boys as sex slaves or breeders, right? Go ahead.
And sold a girl for wine.
And the Africans sold our women for wine and musket guns. Wine and musket guns. White man sold them broke guns. Actually, they got broke guns for this deal. Go ahead.
That they might drink.
That they might get drunk. Go ahead.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
So God is making a statement. What do you have to do with me, Tyre and Zidon are ancient African cooks. So he's speaking to those African people. What business do you have with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Right? Go ahead.
And all the coasts of Palestine.
And all the coasts of Palestine. Who in Palestine right now? The Arabs. But at first, yeah, but it was Arabs at first, right? All the coast of the Africans, Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine, which is the Arabs. Go ahead.
Will ye render me a recompense?
So God's saying is, are you going to pay me back, Arabs and Africans, because I didn't choose you. I didn't choose you to be my chosen people. Are you going to render me a recompense? Are you going to pay me back by putting my people in slavery? Go ahead.
And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Because the Africans and the Arabs did that to us because they wasn't God's chosen people. They said, let's gather these Jews up there. They're thorn in our side, and let's sell them off to the Caucasians. He says, swiftly and speedily will I return your payback. What you did to my people on your own head. So this is telling you what their judgment is for selling us off.
Right.
Go ahead.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold.
They went into our temples. They went into our temples and took our wealth. Go ahead.
And have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things.
They took our wealth. The Most High said, this is his wealth. So if you took his children's wealth, you took my wealth, you carried it into your own house and your own land. Go ahead.
The children also of Judah.
The children of who?
The children also of Judah. And the children of Jerusalem.
Judah is these three tribes, right? This is who the Romans was calling the Jews right now. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. These are the only three that was left during the time Christ came. These other 9 was already over here, calling themselves they was in so-called Indians throughout the Central and North America. Central, South, and North America. So the children also of Judah.
And the children of Jerusalem.
Yes, the children of Jerusalem. Judah, Jerusalem. Go ahead.
Have you sold unto the Grecians?
Have you sold unto who?
Unto the Grecians.
Who the Arabs and Africans sell the Israelites to?
Unto the Grecians.
Who's the Grecians? What's their skin color? Okay. The Arabs and the Africans sold unto the Caucasians. Go ahead.
That ye might remove them far from their borders.
So they can remove us far from our home. They didn't want us to be God's chosen people. They was mad at that, and they was mad that we had our homeland. And we was striving that they would remove us far from our border. Go ahead.
Behold, I will raise them out of their place, whither ye have sold them.
So let me ask you something. Where is the Jewish man sold today? Who sold the Jewish man to any other nation? Remember, it says they sold us so they can remove us far from our border. It said the children of Tyre and Zidon, the Africans and the Arabs, they sold us. to get us